Man, what's going on, you guys? What's going on, you guys? It's be your boy, Scotty by Nature TV, and we are here for a brand new episode of Yes for the Mess, where we talk about celebrity gossip, hot topics, and all things reality TV based. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful Monday, and I intend on doing the exact same. What is going on, you guys? All right, all right, all right. We are live once again to discuss Married to Medicine for the second time today. How many videos did y'all get from me today? I think this is like y'all fourth or fifth one today. You had the video about Mel and Sherelle's World earlier. You had Potomac, you had Married to Medicine, and then you had Jonathan Major. So that was four. This is y'all fifth video for today. So your boy been working all damn day, and I'm hungry and I ain't had shit to eat yet. But I'm definitely gonna DoorDash after this is over, so I can have something in my belly before this panel starts. Okay. So with that being said, y'all, with that being said, y'all know that before any video, we always go ahead and start with the church announcements. Okay, but we got 37 people up in here and nobody's commenting in the chat. We need for you guys to we need that little bit of we need that engagement real quick. Like, we need y'all to engage a little bit in this chat, honey. But that's what we need. We got 37 folks up here. Only 2 people that said something so far. Oh no, man, we need that engagement, child. Didn't I tell y'all on the last live that I did that I'm encouraging everybody that's in the chats to always speak their mind in the chats? Long as they're not disrespectful, long as they're not being shady, long as they're not no bullshit, y'all can go ahead and say whatever y'all got to say in this chat. And as you guys are coming in this chat, see, there you go. I had to let y'all know y'all need to say something. It's 30 some of y'all up in here and y'all not saying that. But as y'all come in this chat and say something, go ahead and let me know where y'all watching me from. Okay? Tell me where y'all at in the chat. Tell me. I see y'all name, but say I'm watching from such and such. I'm watching straight from here. I'm there as I give the church announcement, because I want to know where y'all at, because like I said, we're doing Scotty Gang meetups next year, and I need to make sure I see these faces at whatever restaurant I decide to meet y'all at in whatever city. Okay. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into the church announcements as y'all come in and tell me where you at and where you from. Okay, so first things first, tonight is the Whether You Like It or Not panel. We'll be going live today at 8:15 p.m. Eastern time on Giving You the Real Teas platform. So make sure you guys are getting prepared to watch that today. Then we got the Chasing panel on Wednesday with Scotty, Jamar, Terrence, Tramel, Carl, and Jeremy Speaks. We will be talking about the brand new episode of Chasing Atlanta, as well as all of the drama that has been surrounding the show all week. Also, be sure to tune in for the 9th episode of the season of Boys Night Out. Be sure to tune in to that, honey. All right. You already know we always talk about music, movies, and just all things gay stuff, celebrity gossip, all that. Then on Saturday, be on the lookout for Love and Marriage Huntsville, honey. That's what we on the lookout for, Love and Marriage Huntsville, child. On Saturday night, y'all know that I go live every Saturday night right after tea. The only reason why I would not be live is if my ass and fell asleep, I'm tired, or what. That could be the only reason why I could have not went live on no Saturday night. Or I'm out with my friends, because I do deserve to go out sometime. Okay, sometime. But anyway, with that being said, that's pretty much all of the church announcements that we got so far. And like I said, we got close to 50 people up in here so far. We got 45 folks up in here, and we're going to get into it, y'all. So let's talk about it. So we're here to discuss the Carlos King interview with Quad Webb of the hit TV show Married to Medicine. Okay, that's what we're here to discuss today. All right, and I asked you guys on my Married to Medicine live review what y'all wanted. Did y'all want me to just watch the interview and then decide that, okay, I'm going to do some commentary, but y'all said y'all wanted to watch along, and I guess y'all wanted to watch along so y'all could see the way I react when somebody says some bullshit. That's what I'm thinking. But we're about to go ahead and get into it, y'all. Let's look at this, because Carlos King really love it when we be reviewing the reality with the key stuff, and so we're gonna tap right on into this. We got 54 people up in here so far. Okay. Let me see. I see some Michigans in here. I see Houston. I see Ohio. I see California. That be the real tea. I was very surprised when I realized that LA was in the top 10 of my most watched cities. I see a Jacksonville, Florida. I see a DC. I see a Montgomery, Alabama. I see a couple of y'all up in here, y'all. But let's see. You've been keeping me up with the current events while I'm on social media, bro. I was wondering where you been, because no, let me tell you something about Kim. Because I think I met Kim at the K Michelle concert this year when I was with Jamar. I think I met Kim there because her face looked familiar. I really believe that's why I met her at the concert. Who was this? Trying to text me. Hold on, y'all. Oh yeah, but anyway. But she follows me on social media and she be DMing me from time to time, sending me stuff to talk about and stuff like that. I've been wondering where she is. So that's where she been. But anyway, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and get into this interview with Quad and Carlos King, honey. That's what we finna get into, child. And baby, listen. We gonna listen in on what she said, because I ain't watched the whole thing yet, child. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. I ain't watched the whole thing just yet, but we're about to look at some of it. I fast forward through some of it so I can get to the parts that I want to hear about and want to talk about. Because Quiet would give a damn dissertation when she doing anything. She ain't gonna give you no straight answer. She gonna give you some Tyler Perry monologue and every damn thing she do. But let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. Let's take a listen.
Have you experienced what Mariah said on my podcast, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, which is when you know your worth and you remind people of your worth, sometimes not in the best way, but when you know your worth and other people may know your worth,
but they don't want you to know it.
They don't want you to know it, and you refuse to be quiet about it. Do you sometimes feel like that can create a situation to where you're not able to grow? And when you're not able to grow because you know your worth, sometimes you're being pushed out.
I think it's important for everyone to always know their worth. I kind of grew up in a family where my family would just infuse, having a high self-esteem, knowing who you are, to ask a lot of questions, to not just let a person tell you any and everything and you just go with it, to be your own person, to be a visionary, to be a thinker. So that's the kind of household that I grew up in. So for me, it would be abnormal, right, if I did not know my worth. It would truly, to me, be foreign, And so with that being said, I think sometimes people feel like you're better in that position. Although I know, let's just talk corporate America for a second. You could be amazing. You should probably be on the executive level, right? But if the person who you are working for sees you better in kind of a junior role, right? Then, because it behooves them to have you in that junior role, right? Then it might be difficult for them to elevate you to the executive role, because then who are they going to get to play, or who are they going to get to be in this junior role that they need? And it's working for them. It makes things a lot easier for you to be in a junior role. It makes things, money is being made, more money is being made for them if you're in the junior role. You know what
Girl,
I mean?
get to the point.
It's unfortunate. And we see that all the time. We see in corporate America, people are always looked over for promotions. It's like, listen, this is what I offered the company. I made the company this amount of money, this year. This is what I brought this, this book of business. I brought this account and this account, and they closed on that account, and this is how much they made. And I, was waiting for that promotion, and I was looked over. And it happens every day in corporate America, because that's where I come from. So, I will always encourage people to know their worth and know what you bring to the table.
When you were going through what you were going through, and you saw Mariah go through what she went through, obviously she created the show, right? She still gets a constant by credit to this day. You saw some things that happen behind the scenes, right? That is obviously at your discretion. But when you look at your experience these past couple of months, taping this season of Married to Medicine, and you felt like, I now see what she was talking about. Do you feel like you were a part of that ecosystem that pushed Mariah out of her own show?
Well, I would never want to push anyone anywhere, but to greatness, right? I think sometimes we have to do a self-reflection. I just could remember one time Mariah saying, y'all not married to medicine, y'all married to Mariah. And that was hurtful. That was hurtful. And I'm your friend, and I got your back, and we're going to go the long way. That was my heart posture, and that's what my mentality was at that time. And so to hear her say things like that, it was more like, wait a minute now, we're doing this together. What do you mean when you say that?
You're not answering the question. Do you or do you not feel or understand how Mariah felt when she was pushed out of the show, being that you are being pushed out of the show. See, what you're doing right now is that you're not answering the question directly. What you're trying to do is you want to answer the question, and then you want to come back and make it about what Mariah supposedly did that was so bad to you. Answer the question. Do you feel like, do you now understand where Mariah was coming from, or do you not? It's just that simple, Quad. See, it could all be so simple, but you got to make it so damn hard when it don't even have to be.
You were arguably the breakout star of American medicine.
Oh, child, baby, don't say that out loud.
I mean, is that
Don't say it out loud, baby. That right there alone, that is so loaded. That is automatically walking. That's like putting on a vest with like 10,000 targets on you, like bullseyes, and you just people just ready to gun you down. No.
Is that? Let's have a conversation.
Let's have it.
And this is coming from the king of reality television.
Let's have it.
Every single ensemble show has a breakout star. Every single reality show has a breakout star.
Okay.
Okay. I want everyone to know that, because we're gonna have a real conversation. Destiny Child had Beyonce.
Yes.
The Jacksons had Michael.
Baby, don't they? Didn't they?
Chicago Bulls had Michael Jordan.
I will say so.
Let's talk about it. I don't think there's anything wrong with giving someone their props in terms of saying, you the breakout bitch.
Mhm.
And guess what? Good for you. Let's all support each other, because at the same time, there will be no Beyonce without Destiny Child. There will be no Michael Jackson without the Jacksons.
True.
And there will be no Michael Jordan without Scottie Pippen.
Absolutely.
So no one can do it on their own. And I'm saying this, loving the show, being a fan of it, but I'm real.
Mhm.
You were arguably the breakout star of American Medicine instantly.
Yeah.
This brown-skinned black girl from Memphis, Tennessee, who was in pre-biology, pre-med.
Carlos, no. First of all, if I gotta hear you say I'm the king of reality TV one more motherfucking time, I'ma scream. But I'm pretty sure you're gonna say it again, so I might as well go on to scream. Ah! Okay. Number two, why every time you interview people, you brown nose the out of them? That's not being real. And number three, Quad definitely was not the breakout star. And this is coming from a person that really, really loves Quad. Before Mariah left, Quad was not the breakout person. It was Mariah. Let's call it spade a spade. I don't even care for Mariah. Let's be honest. But she was the breakout person. She was the lead. She was the forefront runner. That was Mariah. It was not Quad. Quad did not become that until Mariah left. Let's be honest. Stop lying, Carlos. Stop. Just stop. And this coming from, I like you, Carlos. I do. But you be bullshitting. And I'm tired of that. No. I can't. Let's continue.
And all those things, right?
Mhm.
Never desired to be in front of the camera.
Wasn't thinking about
it. Your best friend created the show. Bitch, I'm gonna put you on. Okay, girl, let's do it.
And my thought process with that at the time was that we was gonna ride it all the way.
Like Laverne and Shirley.
Maybe like Laverne and Shirley, get into it fall face first. We were going to go the entire way. And my ideology of thinking was there will be some doors that she would open and I would walk through them with her.
Why did it still get you emotional after all these years when you?
And there will be some doors that I would walk through that I'll be like, baby, come up at 2:30, baby, I got this door over here, it's open. Let's go, girl, put your shoes on. We got to get there. And that's what I was always thinking. I thought that would be our whole entire existence in television. I truly believed it. I believed it with everything in me. You couldn't have told me anything different. That's how much I wanted to share this experience with her. I did. And then things shifted. It's kind of like, that whole thing, arguably the breakout star. And Cohen said, I'm obsessed with her. And, me at that time, I'm not knowing, really understanding how TV works and what truly did that mean to hear people say that, right? I'm not really understanding. I'm like, okay, I'm glad I made a good impression. You know what I mean? But it just was, it stopped there. What was about to happen. But she did. And other people did too. And I think at that very moment, that's when things shifted in our relationship.
Do you think Mariah was jealous of your success?
I think she felt like this is her baby and she deserved to be in that position. How dare they say that about someone else? And especially it being Quad.
Mm.
You being labeled a breakout star, you're the first person I've ever said that to that didn't say, of course I was, bitch. Because a lot of women who are the breakout star, I said it to Nene Leakes, for example. She's like, but bitch, duh, right? Like, of course,
Okay,
bitch,
girl.
that was good. When I say that to some girls, they're like, yeah, bitch, duh, I know that. You're the first person I've ever spoken to that when I said you were the breakout star, you got uncomfortable, as if you are suffering through PTSD from what that label means to you. Because you, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but what I'm gathering from your energy is being called the breakout star makes you uncomfortable because you probably were never celebrated hearing that. Being called the breakout star apparently has brought you turmoil, losing your best friend, possible jealousy, possible envy. Why am I on the money with that one? You don't seem to like receive that.
You're on the right track. It's a lot to carry. There are certain things that are expected of you that is not expected of others. There are certain things that certain people can completely get away with, and you just cannot. Everything you do is held to a higher standard. You are not given the same grace. You are expected to carry yourself in a certain way, and you are under heavy scrutiny with that title.
Was that title weaponized?
Of course, nothing that I just said was good about it. Nothing that I just said was good about it. It's, at least from my experience. Maybe Nene had a different type of experience, and some others may have had a different type of experience. But for me, it has completely just made me. It's been painful at times for me.
What we saw throughout the course of the season was you becoming the star.
Mhm.
And this is somebody who did season 1 of Atlanta Housewives. And I told Nene to her face, bitch, you're a star, before we wrapped production. This is 2008, before the show even aired. I said, you're a star and you're going to be major. I did season 1 of Jersey Housewives. I told Teresa Giudice, bitch, you flipped that table. After she did that, I said, you're a star. You're going to be the biggest star on the show.
Wow.
I know a star when I see one. And when it comes to you, we saw that you had Sister Circle.
Mhm.
You were signed by the biggest agency in the world, one of the biggest agencies, CAA.
Mhm.
You've had so many opportunities that were given to you. Similarly to a lead singer of a female girl group who starts to experience things outside of the collective,
Yeah.
right? Did you get a big hit though when you started to receive these compliments? Because one thing I have seen,
Yeah.
women say, I'm a star of the show, bitch. This is my motherfucking show, ho. I'll get them, I get there. Y'all wait on me, honey, please. She'll come, she comes. Heavenly has alluded to some of that happening with you, that you.
But Nene did that. Nene used to do that. And you were sitting on you were sitting on the couch with her during that interview, praising her for doing that same shit. And Carlos be getting on my nerves, y'all. I'm so serious. He really be getting on my nerves sometimes. Like, let's continue, y'all.
You felt like you were better than these girls. Is that the case?
Did I ever say that I was better than anyone? Verbally, I've never said that I'm better than anyone.
What about being the star?
In fact, I came in this as the complete underdog of the entire show, and that also lended to, the thought process of what people perceived me to be, right? I could go back to season 1. I remember my father was still living at the time, and he questioned me and Mariah's friendship. And I was upset by it. I'm like, how dare you question our friendship? What do you mean? He said, are you sure that she's your friend? And I said, of course she is. What's going on with you? You know her. What's going on? And he said, you need to go back and watch that episode. You need to go back and watch and pay attention to the season. And I do remember there was something that stuck out to me, and it kind of played me like I was low, like I was nothing in a sense, like I was this charity case. I remember the words was like, oh, she just don't know. She doesn't know how to be a doctor's wife. Like she just has to, we need to mold her. And, along those lines, as if I had no couth and I was not polished and I was, not well spoken. And that's my vernacular has always been my vernacular. I'll tell you why. I'm from Memphis, right? I don't know if you've ever been down there, and I went to Tennessee State University, and I remember people would make fun of us, like, oh, girls from Memphis, and y'all talk like her, there, street, burr, and I'm like, I didn't like it. I didn't like it one bit. And I said at that very moment, I think it could have been during the summer, and I was going through orientation or something, and that just was kind of like that. I didn't like it. And from that moment, when I got into my dorm room, and the young ladies that came in with me from Memphis, I was like, listen, we're hanging out anyway. You know, we're on the 5th floor. I stayed on the 6th at that time. And we would go downstairs. I had a couple of friends from Memphis. It was a gang of us that would hang out. And I said, we spent a lot of time watching Miss C, the Seaver's World and all of this. Let's get the dictionary out. Let's read this dictionary from cover to cover, understanding the context, properly how to say the word. And let's show a different face to Memphis. We started strong, of course, you know, through the years or whatever. Some of the women fell out, some of the girls fell out, but I stuck with it. And for me, it meant something. I didn't want people to look at my city like that. And I didn't want to be viewed like that, right? So when I heard things like she doesn't know how to be a doctor's wife and so forth and so on, and saying that to the other girls, knowing that she was my best friend, these girls didn't know me, you know, like at that time it was like Heavenly had not come on board, just came on board the 2nd season. But the others didn't know me from Adam's House Cat or Hole in the Wall, right? But they knew her and they knew how close we were. And for her to say something like that, or for them to hear her say something like that, it kind of almost put me kind of here.
Beneath them.
Yes.
You know what? I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie. I felt like Mariah wanted Quad to be beneath her before too. I did. Because all this she don't know how to, you know, be a doctor's wife, or she, hey, I almost called you by your real name. Hey D. I used to feel like that too. Like I used to think that, you know, Mariah thought that she was kind of better than Quad in a sense. Being that she came from a humble beginning and things like that. That's how it came across. I'm not saying that she thought she was better than Quad, but Mariah does have that grand, I'm the creme de la creme type of attitude. I've always felt like that. That's one of the reasons why I didn't like her like that, because I don't like people who carry themselves like that. You can carry yourself with as much class as you want to, but I just don't really like people that think they're better than people. And I always thought that about Mariah. I always thought that she was grand in the sense, you know, that's how it used to come across to me.
And to rise above that, because look, I've had situations where I had to boss up sometime and say, "No, I am the king of reality TV. What you talking about, bitch? No, I am that boy. Please." We all go through that, and I want to have an honest conversation because I think it helps people understand things. Would you say things like that to people? I'm a star, bitch. What you talking about?
I used to have on my page, by the way, Married to Medicine or Star of Married to Medicine, literally.
Yeah.
Like it was on my Instagram. Baby, scrub. It's not there anymore. You know, and I made that determination, that decision some time ago. And for me to say that I was a star Married to Medicine, a star Married to Medicine, didn't mean that others were not. It didn't. I'm not taking anything away from you all. I'm just saying what I am. You know what I mean? And if you say, Heavenly says all the time, she's the smartest person in the room. Hell, it doesn't take my intellect away. It doesn't. I don't feel that. I don't feel that her saying that she's saying that she's the smartest person in the room takes anything away from me. Is she smart? Yes, she is. Doesn't mean that I'm dumb.
So for you, what I'm gathering too is because you felt like you was being pushed down, you had to work to build yourself up.
Started from the bottom.
Yeah.
Started from the bottom. And Drake said, started from the bottom, now I'm here. Started from the bottom. And it was a clawing to the top with that because, well, we don't know her, but if our best friends say this, then hell, that's what it is. Then we believe that. And that's how we're going to view her. Until I had to cognitively break out of that and show people who I really am. You know, always been a very quick-witted person, very, very, very sharp with my tongue in terms of knowing how to speak. Never had a problem with public speaking in my life, ever. And so, and always been a very domestic person, you know, very cleanly person, a person who is, you know, cultured. But when I go back to season 1, that's not how a person would perceive me at all. Now, I do remember being at an event or something that they were throwing, and I remember Carrie and Toya was kind of coming at me about, you know, how can I marry someone that would call off the wedding? And, you know, I went through that too. And then there were some things that was transpiring early on prior to the wedding, and, you know, and I just remember feeling that. And I didn't understand that, right? Because it was just like a couple of days prior where we were all having lunch and having a good time. So I really didn't understand. Now the red dot is on and you all are coming to me like this. You're confronting me. You're waiting for me to walk through the door. I come through the door with gifts in tow and just to have a good time. And I'm not knowing, oh, she's the target. So when you see Quad hit the door, y'all go at her. And they began to question me about, so it was Carrie and I think Toya at the time. And I just remember not understanding TV. And I was just like, don't goddamn lie. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't get it. I didn't get it. And I was very raw at that time.
Did you appearing on the cast?
That's interesting. In the episode that we've just seen, that just aired, I think it was Jackie who said, I can remember when she was on Sister Circle, and what did she say? Something about me being on Sister Circle or with my Sister Circle friends. I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember, but I remember that it was Jackie who was going back, and she said maybe she felt hurt or something, or they felt hurt or something when I was a part of Sister Circle, when Sister Circle was on air, and I'm just looking at that like, how so, Jackie? Because you guys are a group of friends of mine. These women are a group of friends of mine. Why can I not have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups of friends? At that time in my life, the girls that were a part of Sister Circle, they were more tender and soft and understanding, and showed lots more of compassion for what I was going through. During that time, my marriage had began to unravel. Things were not good at home. And some of the girls knew what I was going through. They didn't know to what magnitude. Of course, at that time, I'm emotionally trying to gather myself. I'm mentally trying to make the right decision for my happiness and for my future, but I was still love my husband at the time. And so there were things that had transpired that if I would have verbally said them, I was afraid that it would harm him in his career. And it did not present itself at that time to be a safe space. Both shows were different. Sister Circle was about, empowering, encouraging, motivating, educating. And we do see some of that also on Married to Medicine, but it's all about conflict resolve. And when you are feeling like it's not a safe space to say certain things, then you refrain from saying them. You just refrain from saying them. And that's kind of how that shook out. I did not feel, when Jackie went through what she went through with Curtis, I felt like everyone rallied around her, supported her. When Jackie said that she was done talking about it, it was done, it was over, it was through. And I even respected that, right? When Cecil and Simone were going through what they were going through, we saw that at one of the reunions. We all rallied around them, right? But I wasn't extended that. I wasn't extended that type of compassion and empathy and care. I had to go and get that from my girls at Sister Circle. Did not mean that I did not like my friends, within the Married to Medicine group. Didn't mean that I did not like them or against them or anything. I had to go where I felt like I was most supported. And it's not saying that some of the girls on Married to Medicine didn't have an inkling of understanding as to what I was going through. I think there was a time where Andy Cohen, and I think it was one season where Gregory and I had sat on the stage of with Andy Cohen. It was during a reunion. And remember, there were a group of women who came out. I think it was probably Toya and Mariah at the time, and maybe Simone. And I'm not sure if Simone said this or not, or agreed with this or not, but because there was so many moving pieces. But I do remember where Andy Cohen had said, the next thing was like, well, what do you guys think about what you guys heard behind stage? That he said that he hit her. And I just remember, voices saying, he didn't say he said he hit her. That's not what he said. You can't say he hit her. He's a doctor. You can't say that. What you say? He didn't say that. And he literally had to get into a banter with them and said, I'm telling you, he said it. He said it in front of me. And I was just like, whoa, these girls hate me so much that they can't even support me. And they're not even believing what is being said. And I'm telling them that it happened. And I'm telling them that it was said. And it takes Andy Cohen to put a stamp on it. They hate me that much that they couldn't even hear it from me, because Andy Cohen and I was both saying, no, he said it.
Now that I can get with. Now I'm down for calling quiet out for her BS. I'm down for holding her accountable for the BS that she puts out there on her own self. I definitely agree with that. But in this instance, when she first said that Dr. G put hands on her, they did act like they didn't believe her. They did act like, she was full of shit. They did act like she had no place to say anything. They did. I remember when she first said it and Mariah was shaking her head. Like, she was definitely team Dr. G. She was not trying to hear nothing that Quad was saying and all that stuff. And regardless of how we feel about Quad, that is true. They did do that. They did kind of cast her to the side when it came down to it. Like, they literally acted as if that man didn't do that, or she was lying about being abused by this man. And that was real up. Real up that they would do that. You feel what I'm saying? I thought that at the beginning. And for the person that just asked me, because she was like, what season did this happen on? I want to say this was either season 5 or season 6. I want to say it was season 6 because Quad had on like this blue dress or something like that. Because that was the year that Mariah said, "Why are you even here? You're not even married to medicine, my love," or something like that. It was either 5 or 6. It's one of them. Yeah. And I think it was a 3-part reunion. And I don't think all of Married to Medicine's seasons had 3-part reunions. Most of them had 2. But I definitely remember that. Definitely. Let's continue, y'all.
And they hated, it appeared to me, or I felt like they hated me so much that they couldn't even hear it from me. It was Andy Cohen who made it real for them. And that was difficult. That hurt.
So you're in this environment where you don't feel supportive. You don't feel like it's a safe space for you to truly give 100% of yourself to them because they never provided the window of opportunities of opening. Like, no, come to us. We want to be here for you. The way you saw that with Simone and with the way you saw that with Jackie. When it comes to the medical community, because you're not. Go ahead.
I hate to interrupt you, but I do want to add this before we move on. I don't want to lose my train of thought. And I don't know how they're in the scene in the episode. They flash back to, I think it was my book launch, and I had an all-white party. It was like a birthday / book launch, an all-white party. And they flash back to me saying, you know, I was going to give up on women, and then Sister Circle came into my life. I really felt that way. I had a lot going on. I had, you know, other friends, you know, that are not on the show who just didn't understand. I had the pressures of what was going on with my relationships with some of the girls within the Married to Medicine group of friends. And then, you know, there was Sister Circle. But slightly after I gave the girls of Sister Circle their flowers, I turned to give my girls from Married to Medicine some love and to acknowledge them as well. And I looked around, and it was already understood. It's kind of like they had a perception. They couldn't even give me the time or the patience to get to them, to say the things that I also wanted to say about them, which was also saluting some of them, which was also paying homage to some of them and highlighting who they were to me in my life. Not all of them have been poor to me, maybe at different times, or hell, they could say the same about me, you know? So they just didn't, it was kind of like it was already etched in their mind that, oh, she spoke about Sister Circle, so she's about to upstage us and say something negative about us, or she's let's go before she says it. And I looked around the room desperately because I wanted them to hear how much I care for them too. By that time, Toya and I think it was Simone, they had left. They never even got an opportunity to hear what I was about to say because it was already in their head. Like, she's giving them accolades, but she's not going to give it to us. They didn't give me the time. They didn't give me the patience to even just wait one moment. You're up next. I know who you all are to me. It hadn't always been all bad. It hadn't always been all bad.
But when you say stuff like, I was going to give up on women, or I was going to give up on a sisterhood until Sister Circle came along, that is a direct diss to Married to Medicine. A direct diss. You're basically, because you was with Married to Medicine girls before you was with the Sister Circle girls. So therefore, it's like, you want to sit up here and say, I just did not know anything about sisterhood until Sister Circle came into the building. That's what you were saying. So you're deflecting at this moment because you're not being 100% real about it. That was a direct hit at your Married to Medicine girls. And you should just own it. Honestly. You should own it. Because you literally just said in this particular interview just now that they were giving you what you needed. They were giving you what you needed. They were giving you something that those girls were not giving you. And you felt like they sat on the side with your ex-husband. And that's why you went more over there with the Sister Circle gang. And that is absolutely fine. But you need to own it though, Quad. Seriously.
So I'm tapping in from the times when it was good. You guys we've had some great times together. And we have some deep-rooted relationships. And you guys have helped me get through some other things. I see you. They didn't give me an opportunity to tell them. I see you. They left.
So what is it? Is it the fact that in the doctors community, is it cliquish? Is it that if you're not part of this very exclusive circle, whether you're in the group by proxy of being married to one of us, okay? If you're out of that club, courtesy of divorce, is it that we always want to ride with the medical professionals?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
It's definitely not that. The medical community is a tight-knit community, you know, especially when we talk about the African-American component of it. It's even smaller than the masses, of course. We are the minority. But it's not saying, oh, well, you know, because you're not a doctor or you're not affiliated with the medical community, then, you know, You're neurologist, urologist, anesthesiologist, nurse anesthetist. I mean, what are you? It's definitely not that. It's not that. Listen, all of the girls of Married to Medicine have outside friends. They have friends who are nowhere near the medical community. They have some friends who are not even, who don't even have to work. They've been very fortunate to have beautiful husbands, amazing husbands who will keep them together and keep them kept. And they ain't made it that either. So you don't have to be, I don't want to give the perception to people that, Dr. Simone doesn't have friends who are not doctors or not in the medical community, or Dr. Jackie doesn't have friends who are not in the medical community, and the same with Heavenly. It's not true. You befriend people who you have commonalities with, who you connect with, and who you feel like, I like this person. I want to have a long-lasting relationship with this person. They're human. Their occupation is the occupation. And that's another thing. I think one time I posted something about sometimes in our country, people feel like, oh, they're doctors, so they're perfect. No, the doctor is the title. Let's see what's the character of the person, the individual.
Well, that's why we love the show so much, because it shows the flawedness of just everyday people. You have been accused of not keeping in touch with your castmates off season. That when the show's wrapped, Quad is out allegedly hanging out in Africa, trying to meet men, going to Kenya, just to snag a husband.
Kenya, child, can I just put you on pause for a second?
I'd
like to go get my passport.
How many stamps do you have this passport, Miss Quad? Oh, Lord, honey. Call her booty to get the passport, honey.
Call me global entry.
Global entry, babe. That's his passport.
No, but wait a minute. Even before that, I just had
I like pink purse, okay?
No pink hermits, but I do. You're so silly. I'm so over you. But I do want to say something. I was thinking of this as I was walking to get the passport.
Okay.
People say, oh, well, she was like this when Sister Circle was on air, and when she had Sister Circle. What I do want people to understand is I shared that platform with my friends of Married to Medicine. I shared that platform with Dr. Jackie, Dr. Heavenly, and Contessa. Dr. Heavenly, Dr. Jackie, and Contessa could come on that show as much as they wanted to. We did a whole lot of cross-pollination when it came down to filming both shows. It was great for everyone. So when people say, oh, well, she just cut them off, and, she thought she was all that, and she didn't, share it. I shared my platform with them. I think one time we had Jackie on the show, and she talked about her 50 Shades of Pink. Shouts out to the 50 Shades of Pink. Charity, foundation. Another time we had Dr. Heavenly there, and she was talking about doing a dental makeover. And we had Contessa there talking about, I think, opening up a new practice or something. So I had always, at the time, shared that with him, with the people who were my friends at that time. Dr. Simone and I were not on the same page, or else I would have shared it with her too. I don't see why not.
Right.
And if Toya and I had been on the same page, and if we were in a good place, I would have shared it with her too. It takes nothing away from me to see someone else win. Nothing at all. So I just really want to make that abundantly clear to people, because there's always there's Married to Medicine, and then there's Sister Circle. I am for who's for me. And if you're good to me, I'm even better to you.
Are the Nigerians good to you?
Now, baby, I don't know. Baby, wait, what's
Are the African men good to you?
I don't know a thing. The people saying that I went down to
Heavenly said you were in Kenya, you hang out with some of these housewives and these reality stars, and y'all go to Africa to meet men.
No. Why would she say that? And she said Kenya, baby. Let me see if I can go through here and see if there's any page.
What about Ghana?
Now, see, now the only part of Kenya that I've ever heard of was Nairobi, and that was the hair mousse. So I don't have a step, but I would love to go to Kenya. I do not have a step in there at all that says nothing about Kenya. Okay. I want to go. Maybe Heavenly and I should go. Why not?
What is she gonna do there?
Well, she may want to go on a safari. The girls might like see a little giraffe. A long-necked giraffe or something. I don't know. I don't know. What do you mean?
A giraffe?
A giraffe.
So wait, how are the Nigerians in are the giraffes long?
I don't know anything about a giraffe in Nigeria. I've never been to Nigeria, actually.
So what does it mean when you go to Africa with the housewives?
First of all, the people just say whatever they want to say, and because they say it loud, strong, or wrong, then the people be like, "Oh, she." No, I actually do for holiday. I do go to Ghana. I love Ghana. Absolutely amazing place. But listen, I'm over there with the second lady of the country. The second lady of the country. That means so they have the president, and then they have the vice president. Well, they have the first lady, and what they call over there is the second lady. That is the vice president's wife. She's the second lady. And I was a bit confused.
Oh God, y'all, I don't care about this part at all. Let's move.
What's wrong? And Yandy is a very good friend. In fact, Yandy and I go to Ghana all the time.
I don't care.
If you saw my Instagram, then hey, maybe that made you think.
I don't care.
I want to correct it. And that was last year, I think, before we even went to the reunion. And she stopped for a moment, and we were having a great dinner, by the way. We had a great time. It was like old times. And she literally said to me, "You've not done anything to me." And I said, "Hold on. Really think about it. Whatever, anything that you can think of it. Tell me now." And she said, "No, you've not done anything to me." She said, "You know, I go against you because I want Toya to be mad at me." Straight like that.
See, that's the alliance I be telling people about that happens on these shows that they want to nail me to the cross for. I tell people that oftentimes on reality shows, ensembles, there's alliances.
Yeah.
I'm friends with you. I do like you, but let's be clear. I need somebody to have my back. And as a courtesy, I gotta have their back.
And the thing is, it threw me off a little bit.
Now listen. If Simone said that to Quad, saying that you have never done nothing to me, I ain't got no problem with you, all that other good stuff. If she said that, she only goes against Quad. So Toya won't be mad with her. That is some bull. And y'all know it is. Simone is a weak-minded mother if she says some stuff like that. And y'all can't tell me nothing else different. If she said that, that is some bullshit. And y'all know it is. And I believe that Simone said that with every fiber of my being. I believe it, honey. I believe it. I believe Simone said it. I believe 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 it. Period. And that is wrong. That is wrong. I'm going to tell y'all something. I always say this. This is why I cannot do reality TV. I'm not with that fake shit. I'm not willing to befriend people that I don't want to befriend. I'm not with, creating alliances with people just so I can have folks on my side. I'm not willing to do that. Because let's be honest here. I've been asked to do one of these web reality shows. And I know a lot of y'all probably gonna be in this chat like, Scotty, you should have done that. We would have supported you. We would have rallied behind you if you did it. I'm not with the reality TV tricks. I don't think that I would be a good cast member. I'm not inviting nobody. I'm not inviting no bitch that I don't like to come to my house to have no event. I'm not finna sit down and have coffee with somebody that I don't care to have no conversation with. Now, we're here to talk about the issues at hand. We can sit down and have a one-on-one about that. But I'm not going to be sitting around here having a scene with somebody just to be having a scene with them and it's not real. I'm not doing that. I'm just not doing that. Like I'm telling you, I've been asked before to do these shows. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I said the only way that I would be able to do a show like that with an ensemble cast is if there's certain people on the cast with me that I can bounce off of, and I would be okay. That's Jamar, Tremel, and Carl. Tremel and Carl have both been on reality TV before, web reality TV before, and Jamar has produced 2 web reality shows. So, and all 3 of them are my friends. So therefore, if we were on a show together with another with another 4 people, I would be good. But I don't know. Being thrown in a group with a bunch of people I don't even know. I can't get with that. Absolutely not. Let's continue, child.
Because I was like, damn, really? You've been going this hard? And I've not done anything to you? And it's just because you want to appease Toya? And it threw me a little bit. But I was like, well, Quad, you and Simone haven't been close in a number of years. So is it hard for you can you try to understand where she could possibly be coming from? And while I didn't like it, I could understand where she was coming from.
Because you understand how this works. So we're getting into this current season. Before we started filming, I did report that Phaedra was in conversations to join Married to Medicine.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, it was rumors that your ex-husband and at the time his fiance were joining the show. And some Bravo executives did an interview. I believe it was Deadline or one of the trades. And this executive said, this upcoming season of Married to Medicine, we are going to, again, paraphrasing, but pretty much it's going to be a refresh. Okay. It's going to, some people aren't coming back, some new people are joining, and some familiar faces. It was like this upcoming season, Married to Medicine, is about to knock your socks off because we're throwing so many things at it. Because I bought I've always said Bravo. I'm sorry. I've always said that Married to Medicine is the best show on Bravo that y'all not watching. It's been consistently great. I have never seen an off season like, well, damn, y'all. It's always been great, 10 years strong, and not a lot of shows can say that. So kudos to you guys for that. Before you guys started filming, you wanted to renegotiate your contract. I said on my live with Heavenly that anytime a star knows their worth, I'm an advocate for, bitch, get what you deserve. I said, if I was in Quad's shoes, and I've been on this show for 9 years, and you're bringing back my ex-husband and his next, clearly you're only bringing them back because I'm around. It's the only way it makes sense. And that's why I like having these real conversations, because as a producer, I even know what time it is. You're a smart, educated woman. You knew what time it was.
Absolutely.
And you felt like, if I put in words in your mouth, but I'm assuming you felt like, okay, yesterday's price ain't today's price.
Exactly.
And I will be mad at you, be mad at me if I want to. I will be mad at you if you didn't do what you did.
Yeah.
Period, point blank. But before we get into the negotiation part, did you ever receive a courtesy call that, hey, we're in talks with your ex-husband and his next to come back to the show?
No. Never. No one ever called me. No one ever said, what do you think about this idea? No one ever said, well, we're thinking about reaching out to them. No one ever said, we know the turbulent marriage and how the things went, but we still think that this is going to be a good idea for the show. So we just want to give you a heads up. We're probably going to look to bring your ex-husband and his new love interest on the show. No, not at all. I had to learn it like on social media. Like
Quad. You found out your ex-husband was coming back to the show through social media?
No one calls me. I have no text messages. I have no calls. I have none of that. I began to put two and two together when I saw like a lot of some of the ladies kind of hanging out with them, and I was like, oh, okay, I see what this is. And I think there was a cryptic message under one of their posts. I think it could have been Simone, and something about hanging out and talking a lot of something or something. Stay tuned for Married to Medicine, something. And I said, oh, I see what this is. I see exactly what this is. Wow. Yeah. Been on the show, been here since conception. I said that before. I said that I think Heavenly and I one time had a live or something, and I was like, I felt disrespected. Not even a courtesy call. Didn't care how I would feel. Didn't care, are you even ready for that, Quad? Like, is this going to be some form of a trigger for you? Like, nothing. Crickets.
Did you cry?
I was perplexed. I was confused. I felt like, why? Why would you be so cruel towards me? Is what I felt. Like, why would you not even lend me a courtesy? Just a phone call. I like to think that over the years, I enjoy Married to Medicine. It's been some tough times for me on the show, but they have become my family. You can't be with a group of people for 10 years and not have some emotional tie to them, and I just felt like, did I mean anything to you all? Anything? You couldn't have called me? You couldn't have just flew in town and sat down with me and kind of just had a conversation with me? Did you, for one moment, take your producer's hat off and just put on your hat of humanity?
Not hat of
I wasn't giving
humanity.
that courtesy.
So then you started to work on renegotiating your contract, and allegedly missed out on 4 to 5 weeks of filming due to
It was about
5 weeks of filming due to negotiating. When I learned that, I went to my office, had my protein shake.
I love it.
My office child. Had my protein shake before a workout, and I said, I don't know if you saw this video that I did. I did a video and I said, y'all filming for 5 weeks without Miss Quad. Y'all brought Phaedra back. Y'all bringing her ex and his next. And we don't have Quad. And y'all mean to tell me y'all want me to tune into next season without seeing the epicenter of that storyline? And I did a mock phone call. And I said, this was the producers calling Quad. Because at this time, I think you closed on your deal. This is like 5 weeks into filming.
Okay.
And I said, they called me and said, look, bitch, it's 5 weeks and nothing's going on. What do we need to do? What is going on here? We need to bring her back because clearly our negotiating power has ended. She's serious about that. Was this a strenuous process of you trying to get what you felt was fair due to the circumstances?
Yeah. First of all, I don't negotiate with people. And in terms of, I'm not verbal. I have an agent who handles all of that for me, and then there's a legal team there, there's an agent, and then they kind of go back and forth with the network and, here and there. So I'm not in the minutia right thing by me. I trust him to fight for me. I trust him to present things to show my value and to show my worth, to paint that picture. And that's kind of what happened this season. I did feel that, the writing was on the wall. It was supposed to be this whole trio of, this, I guess, pulling and tugging for Dr. G, or, how is Kawhi going to respond? Is this going to evoke an emotion from her? Is she going to be jealous? Is she going to be mad? Is she, going to, is it going to be some form of a fight or some form of a debacle? And, it just wasn't that. It wasn't that. But I think that was the idea in bringing them on. Did I think that people were running around, looking for Dr. G and whoever his next woman was? I don't necessarily think that was an all call there for that. But I think that the agenda behind it was to see if it could get my panties in a bunch and get me all riled up, and that will be a thing, for the show.
Were you satisfied with the agreement that your agents and your lawyers made for you to return? Were you satisfied with it or not?
Well, I like to think that I felt like because they were coming on board that other concessions could have been made.
I'm gonna say this. I'm still confused by this whole thing because after the season clearly wrapped months ago and the show was airing, Quad was still going live with some of the ladies on this show. So I assume that, they went through their shit, everything was all well and things like that. So, everything was fine. But now that the episodes are airing and we see what really happened, now she's feeling some type of way. So if you felt that way, why were you going live with these women like y'all was all cool, knowing that y'all wasn't? That's that fake ass shit I be talking about that I cannot receive. Okay, that's the problem that I be having. But okay, girl, that's okay. Let's continue, honey.
And should have been made, right? We've had other situations to kind of happen on the show, but I didn't see anyone else bring any other mistresses on the show. I didn't see that. But I did see my ex-husband and his new now wife brought on the show with no problem. And I think for me, it's about, where's the respect for me? Have I not lent my contribution to the show? Have I not brought some value or some worth to the show? Have I not advocated for the show? Why am I being just take what we're going to give you, and we're going to put these people in front of your face and you're going to smile, bear, and grin behind it?
Were you satisfied with the terms?
No, I think things could have been a lot better. Yeah.
Phaedra came back and made a comeback on Married to Medicine. Me, along with the fans, were like, this is the new freaking frack. We were excited. We were reminded of a clip of you and Phaedra when she appeared on Married to Medicine. You guys had this good whimsical fun girlfriend relationship. How did you find out Phaedra was coming back to the show?
Well, I had been talking to Phaedra too, but our relationship has been longstanding. I didn't care who in Atlanta was not friends with Phaedra and who told me not to be a friend or to watch her or she's this and she's
People
that.
say that to you
all the time.
They said to watch Phaedra.
Yeah, with your eyes and another pair too. But I never felt like that about Phaedra. I never felt like that. The energy between Phaedra and I had always been good. We've always been really cool, And so I was like, yeah, I hear you all, but she's all right with me, and I can be your friend and her friend too. I'm not gonna not be this person's friend because maybe some things are going on with some people. We know mutual people, right? So I did hear that she was saying that she was dating a doctor.
Have you met him?
I have not.
Have you seen a FaceTime?
No.
A picture?
I saw the picture that was on the show with the emoji face on it, but I've not seen like a picture on the phone or if
because she ain't never had no man. That's why you ain't seen it. She ain't had no man. She ain't had no man.
Medicine had never seen him yet. Yeah. And so basically I heard that, she was dating a doctor, and then, Matthew Anderson and I began to have conversations. Of course, he knows that we were friends, and Phaedra and I have been cool for a long time. And actually that connection did come through my ex-husband, to be honest with you. And she knew me and really didn't know many of the other girls, like none of them really, knew of them, but not personal relationships with them. So of course, Matthew and I had conversations, and it's like, he told me a little bit more about, possibly bringing Phaedra on board. I thought that it was a great idea. I think Phaedra understands television,
She's great at it.
Yeah, she understands it. And so he was like, let's work on this. And I said, let's do it, And so I was asked to participate in her process of coming on board. And I did like an audition, on behalf of her, and spoke very highly.
What you mean audition?
You send in a tape. I said in my that was presented to
Wait.
me.
You had a camera and you pressed the record button?
Yeah, like, so it was the casting person.
Uh-huh.
And then, she just Zoomed me. We had a Zoom meeting. And then there was a number of questions that was asked in respect to myself and Phaedra and our relationship. And yeah, I answered the questions and I told them, how I really felt about her, that she was great for TV. And, her and I have a great relationship. She's really cool and fun. And, Willy Wonka better watch out because the chocolate girl's coming through. And, yeah, that's all recorded. That's all recorded. And so I really was happy to hear and really even more happy to help bring her on board, so.
So you advocated for
She
Phaedra.
brought you on. You brought on
That
board
was
and she
easy.
snaked you,
That was
honey.
very easy for me to do because I wanted to see her back on television. I thought she was always great for TV. I mean,
You
what had been
did,
maybe
huh?
5 years that we had not seen her on a show consistently. And I just felt like, we're good. Her and I are great. So I didn't see a reason for me not to advocate for her.
So when you advocated for Phaedra to get on the show, how did you feel in these past 2 episodes when you guys were at the table? And from what I saw, it appears she did not once advocate for you.
At the table seems horrible across the board.
The fact that you befriended Phaedra, despite the fact that people tried to warn you about how much of a snake she was and how much of a frog she looks like, you still took her in, still remained friends with her. Despite what everybody told you, you vouched for her to be on a show that you are a star on, and she gets on the show through you, and then she snakes the fuck out of you and sends you packing off a show that you brought her on. Girl. But everybody wonders why I don't care for Phaedra. Everybody wonders why my damn Vans shoe be on her damn neck every time I speak on her. She's a fraud. She's fake as, okay? And I don't feel bad for you. Because they tried to warn you, Quad. They tried to tell you that lady wouldn't. They tried to tell you that. But you want to be nice and give people a chance. Everybody ain't telling you that for no reason. And honestly, I'm saying that because I went through the same thing. They told me that everybody told me that and I still became friends with them, still remain still remain cool with him, still tried to be friends with him, still didn't care about what nobody had to say because he hadn't snaked me. And as soon as he snaked me, my ass had to eat that shit like an apple pie and be like, bitch, they tried to tell you. You sitting back here watching him bite other folks, you think he wasn't gonna bite your ass too? Girl, bye. Yep. You got to eat that the same way I had to.
Across the board. The table scene was horrible. And to learn that she had changed her airline ticket. I'm like, that's not what you told me. I text you like, hey, I'm at the airport. What's up? What's going on? Where are you? And she's like, oh, I'm running around, girl. I'm at the drugstore. I'll be there or something along those lines. I do have the text messages. And so for me to later on hear that she basically changed her flight because she didn't want to be around me or maybe wanted to go along to get along, that was devastating. I didn't understand why she would do that.
I watched those 2 episodes and I was so confused because from episode 1, and let me tell you something. This is coming from a person who produces shows, creates it, watch the edit, all that stuff.
We get it, Carlos.
That can miss 5 weeks of work negotiating, and then the first episode, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seven, eight. Because you for the audience, every week and a half, you're taping an episode.
Yeah, every week at least. Yeah, week and a half.
You're in the episode taking off your drawers, hopping in the bathtub, baby. I mean, but you're in the first episode, and I'm such a fan of the show that I was like, oh my God, the new freaking Frat, gonna see this. And we saw y'all friendship. We even saw it at the funeral home, and you came out the casket, honey, with a resurrection like it was Easter. It was giving very much Easter Sunday, honey. Hey, Jamal Ryan. We loved it. It wasn't even from our vantage point as a viewer. Every single episode was Phaedra Quad, what you got, bitch? I got that, bitch. What you doing, honey? And it was like the next episode after that, it was like instantly, we saw her not even utter a word in your defense. And it was shocking to us.
It was almost like someone had told them, like, go for quad. Go for quad. She's the target. Isolate her.
cut out. That you and Toya almost got into a fist fight at the funeral home.
We did not almost get into a fist fight at a funeral home. down to with the walk-ins. We did not. Was there a heated discussion? Yes, we had a heated discussion. They had Toya and I sitting right next to one another, as you can see if you go back and look at that episode. But we were not about to fight. We did not even get up and stand up and walk up against each other like what's the name? T and Heavenly.
Yeah.
But there were words spoken passionately. Yes, there were.
And then she's intimated that you make comments about, I'm here to get my check. I'm here for my check. Fuck you, bitches.
Well, I never said fuck you bitches at all. But when you know that someone doesn't like you, like if we go back into the episode, it was like, oh, can Quad stay with you? Can she stay with you? Can she stay with you? Oh, I'm not getting her room. Can she stay with you? And it was I was made a mockery of. And it was like no one wanted to room with me, and what Phaedra said, she doesn't wish to stay with you. Jackie said no with 8 O's and all of that was made to kind of make me feel left out or make me feel unwanted, and so that was the beginning of like, oh, I see what this is. And there were some things that did happen at the resurrection where Heavenly, I think Toya had gotten into it with Alicia and said some things, made some allegations against Alicia's husband and his practice or something. And there was a conversation after that over the phone where I thought it was just personal between Phaedra and I. And she was saying that, this is a bunch of ninja, SHIT. And if I don't want to be a part of that. And
Phaedra said that.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, we're good over here. I mean, the housewives, were, I'm sure, a lot tougher. Like Phaedra, like seriously, this is easy for you.
We weren't picking daisies off of the vines at Chase Paint.
Nor were you blowing out dandelions.
Okay.
So I just thought that truly was like a personal conversation between us, just her and I. And then later on, Heavenly and I spoke, and I'm learning that she told Heavenly and Simone and maybe even had a couple of others. Anyway, it got around to the girls, and some of the girls were offended by her saying this is some ninja shit, and she didn't want to be a part. If it was going to continue to go like that, then she would rather just continue to do her one-off shows like Ultimate Girls Trip and things of that nature. And in that, I remember Heavenly and I speaking, and Heavenly said something along the lines of, well, she just got afraid when Toya started going off on, Alicia and making those allegations against Alicia. And she said, I feel like, Phaedra got scared. And I was like, what do you mean? And, she's like, Phaedra, Phaedra's a liar and this and that. I said, what'd she lie about? Are you talking about her not knowing how many months pregnant she was? Because that's what I remember at that time. My brain kind of went to that. And then Heavenly was like, because I read the book that Angela Stanton wrote.
Quiet. Are you dumb? That's not the only thing she lied about. Yeah, she lied about a dude that, the fuck she did. But that is not what they were talking about. Do you not remember that she lied and said somebody tried to drug in somebody? Quiet, girl. Let's continue, child.
I was like, oh. And I was like, who's that? Because all of that to me, it was just completely like, I thought about the pregnancy, right? Mm-hmm. And so with that, there was conversation. I was like, oh, okay. So, whoa. And so then that was kind of like the end of the conversation. So later on, when I see that Phaedra says that Heavenly told her that I was talking about her, I wasn't talking about Phaedra. Why would I bring her or help her get on the show to turn around and talk about her? I did not do that. What I thought when Heavenly said something about her lying, being a liar, I automatically went to the fact that she did not remember how many months pregnant she was. And maybe she did that due to her religion. That's what I said. Mm-hmm. And then everything else kind of trickled or rolled out from Heavenly. But apparently, I don't know if Heavenly ever told her what she had said in reference to it. I just remember saying, that's what I said. You understand what I'm saying? And so it was interesting that Phaedra didn't even call me and say, hey, were you talking about me? Did you say anything about me? I feel like, there's some things we need to talk about because I'm feeling a certain type of way. And for that, I'm not going to take the flight with you. Instead, you told me you was running around and getting some last minute things and shopping at the local pharmacy.
Walgreens or CVS?
Babe, I think it was Rite Aid. Girl, I have a text message. I can't make it up. I can't make it up.
Well, I'm about to do this,
I can't make it up.
I know you can't. You gotta understand. I know. Listen, let's just say none of this surprises me. What did surprise me though is this. I felt that there was this army of people trying to kick you off the show, and that there was a mission that when she gets to San Francisco,
army.
The mission is to get her off the show. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm only basing this off what I've seen because I'm a viewer. You were so humble to me in your conversations with the girls. Even when you walked in your lime green honey outfit, but baby, that lime green was,
it was hidden.
Baby, in all the right places.
Listen, I saw it too. I was like, damn, it's what you told me, girl. Oh,
appetite for oysters.
I did, and pearls.
Okay. So I saw you walk in, and my goody choice is Toya gave you the desk there, baby. I was like, okay, we know I had an issue at the resurrection, but I always felt that Back to Best Girls, y'all always knew how to bring it back.
Yeah.
Y'all always knew how to bring it back. So I never take things y'all say deeply in terms of like, it's forever ruined. It's like, don't work your way back together. It's all good. But I saw that, and like you said, I don't want to room with her. Boom, 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 the room key. So I saw all these things happening. And you're like, okay, I mean, I got money. I can get my own room if that's an issue, but I'm here to support you. Even you sat down the table, you said, look, Toya, all jokes aside, as a Black woman in winery, this is amazing. Congratulations. I love that. I told Heavenly, I said, if that was a mission to get her off the show, y'all should have said, abort, abort, abort. The bitch is coming in humble, guys. We're going to abort mission. 86, there's beat on the sheet because we are not going to have a Ponderosa. And the reason why me and the audience felt that energy is because everybody's face was still like determined. And then it felt like Heavenly had to say something. And when she said, well, you used me. What did she mean by that? Because we never felt that you were using her, but I want to be able to, were you surprised to hear that?
Well, you just hit me with a whole lot
Sorry.
right now. It's very loaded, very loaded. So I'm going to try to take it in parts. When James Knox asked me to come out to Napa Valley, and I knew that it was for Toya, but I'm always in a position of, it doesn't matter what you're going through with the person. If this woman is doing something, he or she, if a person is doing something that should be supported, then you get there and you support it. And I know how through the years, Toya has been kind of pegged as the person who doesn't really do anything. All she does is sit back and spend the money and, spend Eugene's money. And all of that has been said throughout the years about Toya. I was really happy that Toya had made a connection where she could now have a wine club to present a list of wines and say, hey, if you purchase this under my code, then you get this discount. And then that will be an additional revenue stream for her. I can remember talking to Toya years ago, and her and I were cool. And we were on the phone and we were talking about, other things we can do, extending the brands. And, I think at that time I was working with like Picture Perfect Pup or something. And I said to her, well, Toya, what do you like? Let's stop right here and just think about the things you like. What do you like to do? And she was like, oh no, I mean, I don't know what I like to do. And this is a phone call. And I could, you can hear her thinking. And then she says, well, I like being a mom. And I said, that's good. That's a real good one. I said, come up. I said, think about some of the challenges that maybe your sons have had, or maybe, their friends have had, or even you as a mother. Think about some of those things, those challenges that you have had, or they have had. And what can you create? No matter if it's a device, if it's some form of a method to be sold, whatever it is, what can you create that could actually be some form of a mechanism to help the kids be easier on the mom while still being able to earn you an additional income? What does that look like? I don't know. You should probably research it, but that may be a good place for you to start. And this was a one-on-one personal conversation, wasn't filmed. It was just two people on the phone who liked each other at the time, two people on the phone who got along, two people on the phone who were cool. And I stopped for a moment to this brainstorm. So to see that happening, maybe season one, maybe it's between season 1 and season 2 or something like that, or maybe earlier on in our seasons. I can't really remember because I know the people hold me to it. Let me go, but I can't remember. But it was earlier years in the show, and I remember having that phone conversation with her, and to see that 8 years later, 9 years later, she's now able to have something of her own. It pleased me, and I was very happy for her, and I was more than eager and happy to support her because I know what that meant for her. But I did not know that I was going to be pretty much ambushed on that trip. I had no idea that was going to happen. When we left the resurrection, truly, I thought, because I went through each one of them, Jackie, are you ready to bury the strife? Jackie said no strife. Heavenly said she didn't have an issue with anyone, then started in on Sweet Tea. And, of course, Phaedra and I were cool and in a good place. I did not know Alicia very much, was eager to get to know her, wanting to get to know her, thinking I had more time to get to know her. Now, her and I have had conversations, of course, off record and off the cameras, so I'm still getting to know her. And then, of course, Sweet Tea is Sweet Tea. You know what I mean? There's a, I think her husband is probably trying to keep that wedge between the two of us.
You don't mind getting to know her?
No, not necessarily. I don't mind.
Okay.
No, I mean, listen. How I look at that particular situation is that it's been 5 years, 5.5 years, maybe close to 6 now. You're supposed to find love again. You're supposed to find happiness again. You're supposed to be able to enjoy your life, whatever that looks like. For him, it's remarrying, right? Right now. For me, it's traveling and seeing there for me. It's no wrong way. Whatever your journey is to happiness, just get there. Just get there. So I don't have animosity towards her. It wasn't like she cheated with him.
Right.
You know, this girl came many years later. You know what I mean? So it would be ridiculous for me to have something against her in reference to him. Now, she said some things thus far, and I'm sure at the reunion we'll deal with those things that she said in reference to me. But outside of that, in regards to him, I have no problem with her. No. Now, he on the other end, I have is, you know. But going back to that dinner, I just felt like, oh, this is a complete ambush. And I'm sitting here trying to, I'm trying to hear you all out. And I want to hear you all out. And I'm listening and I'm keyed in. But I'm also wanting to have my voice heard. And at every single turn, they shut me down. It's like if I wasn't saying what they wanted me to say, then they didn't want to hear it. And that was very disheartening. It was almost like everyone knew what was about to happen. Everyone was in on it, except me.
No, that's what it felt like. And I felt like there was a mission. And I'm not even going to say necessarily from the girls, right? I don't know, because again, I'm not there. But in their defense, it just seemed like everybody was like, we're in on it. And I think Phaedra even knew, which is why she was quiet as a church mouse and avoided flying on the same flight as you. I think everybody knew, except you, but that these girls had to do it because they're on camera, right? And I have never seen you appear so hurt. I mean, when Simone gave you the blow, I literally, even the episode before that, I think I said this to you. I was like, I couldn't sleep that night because it felt mean girlish. And that's never been y'all show. Y'all show never been about like, we're gonna ice one out. It's just never been that. So when I saw it, I was like, this seems weird. And I felt bad for you, of course. I also felt bad for the collective, like, what are we doing here? And then when I saw Simone deliver the blow to you, like, we don't want you here. We want you to go home. What? I was shaking. And I saw you look sad. Then we saw you cry.
He's so damn dramatic, child. He's so dramatic.
In that moment, though, Claude, did you feel embarrassed, hurt, disappointed, or all of the above?
All right, honey. So that was the interview with Quad and Carlos King. And from what he said, part 2 of that part 2 of that interview will be out on December the 21st, meaning on Thursday. So I'll probably get up here and do a live Thursday night, another watch along on Thursday night for us to talk about it and all that other good stuff. Child, I may as well go on and make a link for it and all that stuff. But this interview really made me want to go to sleep. That's number one. It made me want to go to sleep. Number two, it just felt like it was more so about Carlos coddling Quad, which he loves to coddle most of the people that's on his interviews and blow smoke up their ass as he always do. I'm not that type of person. And number 3, there were some points where I agree with what Quad was saying, but then there were some points where I'm like, girl, you full of shit. It's all about being balanced. Number 5. I love the Scotty gang because y'all was in that chat and y'all were agreeing and then some of y'all were disagreeing and y'all did it in the most mature fashion. And I definitely agree. I love that. I love it. I love the fact that y'all can agree to disagree in a mature fashion in this chat. That is the route that I'm trying to take this channel and going into the next year as it being more mature, more refined. All of those good things. Hey, Megan, girl, what's going on, girl? But yeah, that's pretty much it. I gave my comment. I gave whatever commentary I could give as the video played, right? So that's it. So what I'm going to tell y'all right now before we get up out of here, because T is live right now talking about last night's episode of Married to Medicine. So we're about to go on over there. But before we go over there and get ready for the whether you like it or not panel and stuff, let's talk about let's go ahead and pay some bills first. Now, our very own Tremel, who's a part of the Chasing panel, he has a song out now called Long Days, and it's available everywhere. So make sure you guys purchase and stream the new record. Bando, who was in the chat on the last video, he has a new song out called Bando's Dream, which is now available on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube, as well as his other new record by the name of DUI, one of my favorite records by him. Okay, make sure you guys supporting him. Y'all know that Tramiel is my friend, and y'all know that Bando is my baby daddy. So make sure you guys support both of these special people. They're both special people to me. With that being said, this be your boy, Scotty by Nature TV. Be sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe, share this video, and also click on the notification bell so you can be notified whenever a video drops. And if you want to follow me on any form of social media, my Twitter, my Instagram, and my TikTok is down below in the description box. With that being said, you guys, let's go on over there and support my boy T while he talk about last night's episode. And I will see you guys for the Whether You Like It or Not panel. That being said, you guys, I'll talk to you guys a little bit later. Bye, y'all.